Hi, I'm Eireann Dolan, and welcome to Married to the Game. I am here with Paul Francis Sullivan. His friends call him Sully. I call him Sully. I want you to call him Sully too. And I'm here with my other friend, Lexi.
Hey guys.
So glad that I have these people here. Sully, you've got a daily podcast called Sully
Baseball Daily.
Thank you. Sully.
It's a very complex name. Sully.
Can't believe I forgot it.
Baseball, and it's daily. And so I decided to really put my back into the title.
Yeah.
The boys in marketing came up with a great title, and they said, you know what, I got an idea.
Yeah.
I have a vision.
Were you tired the next day after staying up all
so
night?
We looked at lots of prototypes, and we came up with Sully Baseball Daily.
You do a podcast every day.
Yes.
And if it's a leap year, what do?
I do another one.
Do another one.
Oh.
Yes.
In the off season. In the off season too.
Including the off season. Who has got things to say about baseball in January? Nobody except Sully.
Yep.
And that's why we had to have him here.
But
Yes.
you have any idea how many people have said to me, do you know what? All we hear is football. We never hear any baseball. I just want to talk baseball. Well, nobody does, but somewhat. I have like 4 people have said to me that, do you know what? In the middle of winter, it's so nice to hear someone talk baseball.
That is true.
And I do this podcast for those 4 people.
That's good.
And if each of them could kick in $250,000, we may be onto something here. Maybe onto something. Yes, talking Milwaukee Brewers baseball in the middle of February. Let me
Who
tell you
doesn't
something.
love that?
Gee,
Trade
the-
rumors,
the
hot stove.
Downloads are going through the roof.
You know what? It's a great show. I've been listening to it for a long time. I found you,
Thank you.
because I was actually listening to your show. I don't know how I came across it. I think somebody might have retweeted a link to it in my timeline at some point on Twitter, like several years ago. And
I think it was Chris Regan.
It might have been Chris Regan, yes,
is the
Daily
great
Show.
Daily Show, Family Guy writer. I've known him for years and
Yes.
years, and he retweeted out, if you like baseball and you like something funny, go listen.
did he forget that? Did he flub the name of
Listen to Sully
no,
Baseball.
he's-
Sully Baseball? So,
Chris Regan can play chess with all the Emmys that he's won. So
I know. That's true.
He can. He knows the correct name of it. That's how they don't
That was
hand
on
out
me.
Emmys.
That was on me.
Totally on you.
You know what? It's been an auspicious day a little bit. It's been kind of crazy in the last couple of hours just getting this
Oh
set up.
yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Have we
So
introduced you yet?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I was just
We've
listen-
met.
I was
Yeah.
just listening
Yeah.
about me. So.
it
You can
happened.
tune back out again then.
So I was telling Eireann and Sully that Mars is in retrograde. I don't know what you guys are beliefs in. I don't normally believe in it, but when stuff is just kooky and weird stuff is happening, I have to have something to blame it on. Mercury, Mars, space,
Yes.
tides, tide pools. Why not?
Gravitational pull.
Yeah.
Of different planets and
So Mars is in retrograde, and I have felt a lot of the effects from
even
it.
physically, what does that mean? Because I don't know.
Have you been having any tech problems?
Yes, but that's because I'm an imbecile.
All day.
That means Mars is constantly in retrograde. Mars will not leave
Does
retrograde.
explain.
Would you please get out of retrograde and go to like Buffalo or wherever else Mars go? If it's not
Where
in
does it
retrograde,
go?
where does it go?
Where is it full
And how
grade?
long is it stuck there?
I guess till June 23rd is what I was told.
Can you be more specific?
I did.
At 9 a.m.
Thank you.
June 23rd, it's
We will-
leaving its
We
retrograde.
will figure out these lights and all of our tech
I
problems.
need,
Yes.
I need an alert when it leaves retrograde.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you
An
know.
app for Mars
It
and
goes on the
retrograde.
101.
Yeah.
Are there living beings on other planets who are saying, you know, Earth is currently in retrograde and I'm all messed up right now?
I swear I
Yes, I believe it.
Well, we did. I only believe it because we have had weird stuff happen today. Yes.
For me? Or for
everything,
you?
always.
I was like, I've got weird. Yeah, I definitely
shattered
have.
my phone, and
did?
I had to get it replaced.
Retrograde.
Or me being clumsy because it was in my back pocket. I was texting and walking the dog. At
No,
the same
it's
time.
retrograde. That's retrograde.
It's definitely
Mars.
retrograde.
Blame it on Mars.
It's written all over it.
A planet did
I
it.
blame it on the rain.
So I was texting, dropped my phone, shattered it. I've had an iPhone since they came out, since the first model. And it was the only time I've ever shattered my iPhone. They get to the Apple store and they're like, you need to leave your phone here while we replace it, while we, do this.
Isn't that the most horrifying feeling?
Until 4 o'clock. I've never experienced that.
You're looking at me like I have 3 heads right now.
No.
when I say
No, it's
leaving
fine.
my phone is the most horrifying
He was
feeling.
like, I was like, I need to text my loved
I am a
ones.
millennial.
Yeah.
I would say it's
Sully, I am a millennial and I cannot leave my phone.
it's just very clear to me I'm the only parent here.
My phone was the last chopper out of Vietnam. I was like,
Yeah.
I need to text my loved ones.
Yeah.
Like it's 2 hours.
You don't have to explain that to me.
Yeah.
I am an addict of my phone. I am like, I'm it's like, it's 2:30 in the morning.
Like, what am I looking at? That's what I'm like, what am I?
These Milwaukee Brewers prospects aren't going to look themselves up. Well, yeah, God, it's 3. I need some sleep, but this person disagrees with me on Twitter, and I really think I could turn them around if I
just 7 more tweets, and I got it.
Oh, it's 141 characters. How do I own it?
Yeah, you gotta condense something.
Don't want to
change the FOR to the number 4.
That takes away from the message. I think
Exactly.
he was in an argument about evolution, which is always a great idea on Twitter.
Yes.
With Kurt Schilling other day.
That's true.
Major League Baseball pitcher. How many Cy Youngs? How many World Series?
He actually never won the Cy Young Award. He was always like number.
That's why we have him on the show.
He was always like number 2 because there was always people like Randy Johnson or other people always
I guess
there.
That's true.
But he was like consistently runner-up in that, and it was
also ran Kurt Schilling.
No, a great career.
Yeah.
Great champion. Great Boston Red Sox.
Scientist.
Not a great biologist.
As was evidenced by your
evidence that
Twitter war with him about it.
It was not a war. It was me explaining.
I love Twitter wars. Tell me more.
Let me back up here.
Word. Should we pull up the tweets?
We don't get to have Twitter wars, so we have to watch and live through them simultaneously.
This was not a Twitter war. Someone had said something, and he was in for some reason was in the timeline of whatever was said about how evolution was so wrong. And I didn't call anyone an idiot or anything. I just gave an example of an observable instance of traits being passed on and a species variation within one generation, and that was a bobcat lynx hybrid that my kids saw and identified at age 8.
You were talking about it in Little League on the bench.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And I was saying that you can observe small changes in species from one generation. It's not like some highfalutin thing, and I gave him an example. And Kurt Schilling, I'm a diehard Boston Red Sox fan.
Wait, you did this all in 140 characters?
A man named Silly is a diehard Boston Red Sox fan, if you can believe it.
Shocker.
Yeah.
And I wrote back and I said, this is an example of
evolution.
This is the principle of what biological
Here's
evolution
some evidence,
is.
yeah.
And Kurt Schilling wrote back to me saying, "Oh, give me a break. It's still a cat." And I'm going, okay.
Darwin said something similar.
Yes, it's still a cat. And I explained, said, yes, but
I think that's what it says in science books.
And I was saying they're different species. I mean, like
cat is a cat.
A cat is a cat. I said, well, but a bobcat is not a lynx. It's not a lion. It's not a house cat. Those are all cats. Cat is family, which is in between species and order.
At that point.
I'm going to stop you right now because you did this all wrong. You should have thrown in so many cat puns.
Yeah, right.
You should have been like, listen, Kurt, listen to me right now.
He speaks in meme almost entirely, actually.
Okay, bring on the cat puns.
You know?
and let's see if we can keep them safe for
These, you know?
You got this. This is why we call you in. We need a ringer for our Twitter war.
You did it all wrong.
I was trying to use science, and I should have used puns.
That's how you win the internet.
Have you seen his Facebook? It's entirely memes. They don't make sense. One said, "That's none of my Benghazi." It was a Kermit the Frog drinking a cup of coffee or tea or whatever he's drinking, and the line was, "That's none of my Benghazi." Doesn't make sense if I explain the context. It's not going to make sense at all. But that's the level that he's talking about Darwinism and evolutionary theory.
And yet, I consistently thanked him for the 2004 World Series.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry about your fault.
You're absolutely wrong, but thank you so much.
Cat, you're right. We're both right here.
I was at game 6 of the 2004 playoffs. I was at Yankee Stadium, and that was the famous Bloody Sock game, and I was in the stadium there, and I was there with my buddy John Griggs, who's this big kind of tough Brit in U.S. He was part of the Royal Air Force, kind of this is not a Downton Abbey Brit. This is
where they're like baseballs too.
No.
Curly.
This is rugby.
Yeah.
And
no pads.
I'm in the left field bleachers at Yankee Stadium. I'm wearing a Red Sox cap, but I am not taunting anybody. I'm in their home, and the Red Sox had just won 2 extra inning games.
I like how both hands went up for that.
Yeah,
I was not taunting anybody.
I was terrified that
the very hat itself is a taunt, though.
But no, there was some a-hole wearing a Tom Brady jersey, surprise, and he kept going, "Yankees suck," and I'm like, dude, the curse, shut up.
Wait until the final out.
And I'm there in the left field bleachers, and there's this dude in front of me, this jabroni who's a Yankee fan, and he keeps turning around to me, and he kept saying, you know it's written we're going to win. You know it's written. And I said, yeah, it probably is. I'm just going to, I'm going to still enjoy the game.
Yeah.
And we're behind the Red Sox bullpen, and we're all these Yankee fans who were secretly a little afraid because the Yankees lost those 2 games.
Yeah.
And it was coming back.
They don't want to heckle too bad, yeah.
Schilling is on the mound thinking about biological evolution.
Of course.
Cats are cats.
Yeah.
And I kept telling my friend they're going to bunt off of him all day because we weren't sure if his foot was going to come off of the ankle.
Yeah, he had just
point.
had surgery. Yeah.
And so I'm there, and I'm nervous. I'm like, we're going to get our butts kicked down. We're going to get our butts kicked down. I'm going to watch the Red Sox lose.
He's going to have to make a play at every bunt.
Yeah, and eventually he's going to be a peg leg walking around. And while we were there, all these Yankee fans were yelling insults. Anytime someone got up in the bullpen, now, I know you've never experienced this before.
No, never.
But some people insult the relievers as they're warming up.
That can't be true.
They've never done that to Sean, because he certainly doesn't have a name.
They called him a wildling in Seattle, which was the best heckle.
Really?
Yeah, which was
That's
good.
actually clever.
I know.
That is really
I'm
clever.
in Giants Spain or something. Who's my crush, unsurprisingly.
But every time a reliever was warming, they would find some way to make the name obscene in some way, shape, or form. And then as the game went on, and it became clearer and clearer the Red Sox were probably going to win this game. It was really tight, and you could hear the sphincters of every Yankee fan just tighten up as the innings went on and on.
Yeah.
And Keith Folk was a pitcher for the Red Sox who had a great year and just had the Yankees number.
Yeah.
And when he got up, there was this sense of, because he was the closer.
Yeah.
I know the closer is the guy who pitches the final inning of the game and gets what's called a save.
It's a meaningless stat.
They're doing this for me, guys, because I know nothing.
It's like a hold, but at the end of the game. And and when Folk was warming up, those fans were yelling all this stuff. Were just silent because they're like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, you can feel the wind.
And it was one of the few times I taunted a little back. I said, "You can't come up with anything for Folk. His name's Folk. Come on, Folk. His name isn't safe for work."
Yeah.
And Folk got that final out, and the only
I would have waited until after the out to be a dick.
when he struck out Tony Clark, and all during that final at bat, I'm like, Tony Clark's gonna hit a home run. The Red Sox are gonna hit.
don't say that.
Oh, but it was, and then when he struck him out, I went bananas.
Yeah.
And I did lean into the guy, and I said, I thought it was written.
Yeah.
I thought it was written. And I murdered him. No, and then
Just got out of jail. This is a work release program right now. We're gonna have them on.
and the next day the Red Sox won the pennant, and 5 days later they won the World Series, and it was the happiest day of my life. And
Probably because of you.
And then my wife gave birth to twins, and I guess
That's a good year.
Happiest day of your life.
they're both really high up there. No, my
How do you
children
even
being
choose
born.
a favorite? Twins being born, or the Red Sox winning the first World Series.
Or my wedding. I almost called it my World Series.
It was in so many
Your
ways.
personal World Series. I like
Played
that.
my walkout song. It's the wedding march song.
Yeah.
Sorry. So we've had an insane day. I don't know how we got on that, but I'm glad we did. You got in a Twitter war with Kurt Schilling.
Yeah.
I love
It was not a war.
Yeah.
I enlightened him.
Crusades.
And
So what was his response after all of that?
he stopped responding to me.
Oh.
Really?
And I think he nodded. He said,
He's
you know
still
what?
scribbling a meme.
No,
somewhere.
he said, I think Sully was right.
You might be right.
He might be right.
Oh my God, it all adds up.
Yeah.
And now he's an atheist.
No.
He's a liberal atheist.
He works for ESPN again. So, yeah, we've had trouble with tech. I had to leave my phone at the iPhone store. They told me to come back at 4 p.m. I was like, what does that look like? Where's the sun?
Yeah.
At 4 p.m. Like, how am I going to know?
Yep.
And I was like looking around. I was like, oh my God, this is what it looks like during the day in the city.
Feels weird.
It was very weird.
Feels very weird. Yeah.
We've had trouble with tech. You've had trouble with tech all day.
I've had trouble with tech all day. I missed one cord for this whole setup, and it was like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
What else happened?
Hunter's hammy. I have no idea what's wrong with it.
10 minutes before we were supposed to start taping.
I ordered a Hunter's hammy the other day. It was delicious. It had, oh man, a little Swiss, the little peppers, get the Hunter's
ranch on it.
You're speaking about Hunter Pence, the right fielder for the 2016 World Champion San Francisco
Watch
Giants.
your mouth.
Yeah. I'm speaking more of my fiance and roommate.
Yes.
You know, I was like, gosh, when I found out I was like a overprotective Italian mom. I like called the trainer, calling everyone. I'm like, somebody talk to me. Somebody let me know what's happening.
Why isn't my son getting more playing time?
Yeah, like tell me. And so finally,
got the call.
Yeah, I got a call. I don't even think I'm allowed.
10 minutes before we set up.
Yeah.
Lost a cable, and she's like breaking down over the cable, like crying. I'm like, it's not the cable, Lexi, cut it out.
Like, no, it's just an extension cord, Eireann. We're gonna do this.
Yeah, so that's been today.
Yep.
And the reason I wanted I wanted to have you on is because I wanted to talk to you about what you would do if you were the commissioner of baseball for one day. Rob Manfred steps down. Some sort of raffle situation, I imagine.
No, merit.
You thought about this.
It's merit.
You thought about it.
So wait, do people not like the current commissioner?
Not as bad as...
I don't think it's been there long enough to make a decision.
No.
I think that
He's got a no decision at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Selig was the commissioner.
Like, what do we think about this commissioner? Somebody tell me. Are we cool with the commissioner? Are we not cool with the commissioner?
I think that he's...
BuzzFeed stickers.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I think that he's... his name's not Bud Selig, so I like that.
Already a plus.
Okay, Bud Selig is the one before him.
Yes, he was
got
one
it.
there.
We don't like him.
The name on the baseball is signed his name.
Alan.
You think I look at that stuff, Eireann?
Yeah, I'm sure you read the autographs on the ball. But,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like the fact that he's open-minded to some things. I like, some of the expansion of replay, some of the rules changes. I like the fact that he understands that there has to be tradition, but there also has to be adaptation. Mm-hmm. That's a form of evolution.
Would you look at that?
Boom. It's not criticism, it's evolution.
Full circle.
I think he's. I have nothing against him so far. I think that I like the fact, as I said, that he is willing to think about stuff. There's a couple of things that I wish he would do immediately.
Where are we at with the schedule? Is that something?
Yeah, that immediately.
Like, who came up with this idea? We're gonna play 162 games.
Why is that? Yeah, you've had some.
It was a game named.
Why not 160? Why not 165? Like, 162 is so random. And why so many?
Well, I think.
Answer me, Sully. Come on.
It used to be 154, and they expanded it when they expanded the leagues. I think it can go back to 154.
I think it should go back to that.
And I also, you know, the main thing I would do.
Yes.
Is I would have it so the season. Now this may mean fewer off days, but to have the regular season end on Labor Day.
How dare you?
Because
don't ever
take away my off days.
Somebody asked if we could go to lunch with them and Sean, and I was like, on what day? September? Like, yeah. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I know, and I know I'm talking to the wrong people about removing off days.
Wrong crowd. Yep.
But I'm the commissioner.
All right, you're right. You won the round.
Are we writing this into a ballot at some point?
I'm the
Sully
commissioner.
for commissioner.
Sully for commissioner.
And maybe we move the season so it starts in mid-March, and we focus the schedule on warm weather places in dome cities in the beginning more. And so it means, we'll lose a couple of day games in Texas in August if it where there's nobody there anyway.
Yeah.
And if we sort of rearrange the schedule, the problem that baseball has is a lot of times you see the casual fans leave when the summer ends.
Yeah.
And unless you're in it down the stretch, September, which is the most exciting month of baseball in the regular season, is one where you see casual interest go right into the toilet. Yeah. Which to me makes as much sense.
Is that because of school?
Because I also think that psychologically it's a summer game. Yeah. So that when you have the summer essentially ends on Labor Day, and people going back to school, people are ending their vacation, people get there's a certain rhythm that starts. People are thinking football. August is a wide open sports month.
Yeah, that's
There's
weird.
nothing real. There's no basketball. There's no hockey. Football is in training camp. If you have the most exciting games of the year while kids are still out of school, the weather is still right.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time, right now we're going, the baseball World Series goes into November. Imagine if the World Series is Minnesota versus the Colorado Rockies.
It's just, yeah.
And they're playing in November.
No dome, no situation. Yeah.
It snowed in Cleveland during the 1997 World Series.
It's too long. Too damn long.
You have the playoffs in September and the World Series by the first week of October, and then at that point, that's when interest in baseball should be sky high. To have people dropping out in September is like saying, I'm going to watch Rocky, but when he fights Apollo, I'm going to turn it off. I got the gist. I got the gist.
I get it. He trains a lot. All right.
Yeah, and it's the best part is September. So
That's true.
yeah, I think that's
true. So cut it out. Move it up.
yeah. Because
want an
right
audience.
now, there's so much competition against football in September. If you have your best month where there's no football games going on, and people care locally about, like,
It is a hyper-local sport. That's the other problem.
Yeah, it's super hyper. I mean, here.
I mean, other than like the Giants, the Cubs, there are certain teams that just transcend Red Sox.
Red Sox, Yankees, Giants, Cubs, Mets to a degree.
Yeah, not a lot of
Cardinals,
fans in
Cardinals
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Cardinals to a degree, but
Yeah.
even like a team like the White Sox in Chicago that doesn't travel. The Dodgers don't travel.
Yeah.
The Royals don't travel.
Yeah.
And so it really becomes local interest. So if you have the playoffs where interest is local.
Yeah. How are you
And-
going to schedule a New York Mets game playing the Dodgers?
Exactly.
Yeah. And how are you going to get people? I mean, there are kids just getting out of school. If you've got a game in New York, playoff game in New York, it's 3:00 in the afternoon and they're playing a game, and nobody's around to watch it.
Yeah, I just think
that
that-
actually literally happened last postseason. I think it was.
And so I think that'd be the main thing I would do differently. I think you would see, and it creates this. And on Labor Day, this is the other thing. Labor Day is when you play the wild card game. It kind of becomes, because it's a national holiday,
Yeah.
so people can watch it. If you're into
So it's more of like a
it becomes an event, and you're like you're doing
like
the
a
barbecue.
tentpole event. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, my All-Star game thing.
Yeah, you've got another.
My
one.
All-Star.
Wants it in
Oh.
December. No, he wants it in.
Start the season with it.
With the All-Star game.
With the All-Star game.
So what do? You vote
Based
from?
it on nothing.
You based it on the previous year's full stats. Let me.
Oh, I like this idea.
He's lost people already.
No. There is no logical argument against it. The other day,
He argued against his mirror, just in case there are any detractors in this discussion.
There's a mirror right there, and I'm going to argue it. The other day, Jake Arrieta, Cy Young Award winner Jake Arrieta, faced off against Jock Peterson, the center fielder of the Dodgers, who slumped off and was benched last year.
Guess who was in the All-Star game, though?
Only one was an all-star in that matchup, and it was Jock Peterson. Jake Arrieta won the Cy Young Award, didn't make the All-Star team.
Yeah, and I think Corey Kluber.
Corey Kluber won the Cy Young Award. You essentially reward people for the best first 2 months of the year.
How was your May? What are you doing in? Yeah.
People are starting to vote in April. That means,
It is insane.
I've had 2 good weeks. Well, you're an all-star. There you go.
And now it's entirely the Cubs. I don't know if anyone's seen the.
When do you know? Like, when does that happen?
When did you know with Hunter? In
like 3 days beforehand.
Yeah, it was.
You do know Hunter made a few All-Star games.
We
right?
were there.
I know that.
Simultaneously, we had these simultaneous lives happening. We didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't even know each other. Yeah, we were like.
Sean made the All-Star team in 14. Hunter made the All-Star team in 14. We both did not know each other.
And we didn't know anyone there.
Anybody else. I barely knew Sean. I knew him, but like we got there and didn't. They have like get-togethers and like mingles, like a 7th grade dance situation.
Didn't even know that.
Yeah, there was like a brunch for like everybody. And
Oh yeah.
you remember that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Puig for his autograph, like a 6-year-old, and we.
Excuse me, Mr. Puig.
Mr. Puig, and Sean's like.
So I thought it was like a real thing. I like got like really dressed up, probably way too dressed up than I need to be,
She was in a prom dress.
and was like, "Oh, this is
a brunch.
This is just literally a bunch of
Idiot
tables
over
put
there
out."
with the rainbow hair. Me.
Yeah, so
in pajamas. Yeah.
yeah, I wore like a white dress, like a white sundress and wedges. Definitely way too dressed up.
And what was Hunter wearing?
I pressured him to wear suit pants and a button-down shirt. Definitely did not need to wear that.
Didn't need to.
I was like, what do you mean you're going to go down and like just in jeans and a t-shirt?
Yeah.
No.
Didn't.
What? But
Should I tell her about my coworker?
I think you have to.
Yeah. I have a coworker, and she's a huge Giant fan. And I remember stopping by her desk every time, when they were playing the Nationals, and then they were playing the Cardinals, and then playing.
Stories like this always get me anxiety. I'm like, I never know what to expect.
She's a married woman. Her favorite player is Hunter Pence.
Yeah.
And
Go on.
She kind of had this dreamy look on her eyes. She's like, all I want is Hunter in my backyard, shirtless, splitting logs with an axe.
Splitting logs. Is that something you would do?
No, I don't even know if Hunter knows how to
Change a light bulb.
Yeah.
So I think.
He calls a guy.
But could I do him?
Crush this fantasy.
Can I just show up to your place with a bunch of logs and an axe and tell Hunter to remove his shirt? And said it's for my coworker.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, it's for.
I put him in weirder situations. I'm sure this would be the most normal one of all of them.
I figured he should know.
So, well.
But yeah, those are the two main things.
I love it. No, move the All-Star game. I like it.
Because
who has the best April and May doesn't make any sense in July. Why?
It penalizes you if you have a good second half. And it also gives baseball fans something to do in the off season, to be voting for the All-Star game. Last year or a couple years ago, they had Sean as the face of MLB. People were getting into that.
Yeah.
It was dumb.
It was so dumb. Only because he lost. But if he won, it would have been serious.
But instead...
He lost to Buster Posey. When I was a kid, I had a puppy named Buster, and I had a guinea pig named Posey. And that is a grown man. Sorry. I love you.
Wasn't his real name Gerald or something?
No, I think his real name is Buster.
It should be Buster. We'll call him Buster. I love it.
I mean...
So, yeah, he lost to Buster Posey, face of MLB.
But there was a lot of enthusiasm for the voting.
Yeah.
And imagine if that was not for face of MLB, which is kind of a goofy fun, but for the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And you keep baseball chatter all year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you do? Cut down on spring training? Which I think is totally pointless.
Yeah.
It's way too long.
Way too long.
Is there a point to it? Am I the only one that's
it's called the economy of Arizona and Florida.
Yeah,
that's
got
what
it.
it's called.
Entire Scottsdale. There's schools that are just there.
Okay.
Funded entirely.
Well, I can support that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think spring training's too long.
I'm just like, you're proning yourself for more injury. Like you're
and there are guys, they take their best guys out because they don't want to,
Yeah.
Well, spring training originally was there because guys used to have jobs in the off season. They weren't making millions of dollars a year. So they had, after the season was over, they went and they worked somewhere else. And so they need to get back into shape.
Just like Buster Posey in accounting.
Yeah,
He looks like he would be an accountant.
You should be.
Yeah.
He's got the little green visor on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Betting machine. Oh, spring training time again.
Yeah, so now people are in shape all year. I mean, I saw Sean just here earlier, and he was an Adonis. I was going to say...
Sean is here, by the way. We're talking entirely about baseball on this podcast, and we kicked out the only Major League Baseball player in the apartment.
But we have his bobblehead gnome.
Yeah, he's in the other room watching the Sharks game right now, packing for his road trip.
We said, were you on the All-Star team? Get the hell out of here.
No All-Stars allowed.
No. We have a loon who does baseball podcasts year-round.
Yeah, he's got to talk about the Brewers in February.
We're about credibility on this podcast.
So, yeah.
So the last thing I want to ask you about is you already mentioned your best moment as a baseball fan, which was the Game 4, was it?
6.
Game 6, I'm sorry.
In 2004.
Their fourth, in 2004. What is your worst moment as a baseball fan?
Oh, my worst moment as a baseball fan. I mean, there was, I think probably, I grew up a Red Sox fan, so obviously, the 86 and 2003. 2003 was, it's funny, 2003 was, I got married in 2003 when my wife picked the date. We got married here in the Bay Area. We're still living in New York.
What was the date?
It was October 4th, 2003.
And you knew.
Yes.
And gosh.
And
not going to coincide with anything.
And when she said October 4, and we were trying to arrange it because of some of her relatives and everything, she said, we got the place October 4. I'm thinking, early October? You mean when the playoffs are starting? And there's like, all these games, and like, okay.
Sounds great.
And
to do whatever she asks.
But during the wedding, the Red Sox were playing the A's in Game 3 of the 2003 Division Series. And my wife, unbeknownst to me, revealed that there was a home plate at the altar. We got married outside.
That's
she revealed
cool.
that. And then she pulled out a glove and she threw out the first pitch of the wedding.
Really?
I didn't know it was happening. It was really beautiful.
Wow, that's
And
super
that was your
sweet.
worst moment as a baseball
No,
fan?
no, no.
Yeah.
No, and during the game, during the wedding,
This World Series, if you will.
there was a TV showing the A's Red Sox game, and eventually,
During the wedding, there was a TV?
well, during the reception.
Where did you get married?
We got married.
Chili's?
Yes. It was the greatest TGI Fridays.
This side of Palo Alto.
But anyway, the Red Sox beat the A's in that game, and then and my wife, newly married with me, became a baseball. So I'm going to follow the Red Sox because this is part of the marriage. And we went back to
What
New York.
better year than...
She is an all-star wife. I vote for her for the all-star wives game.
She deserves to be at that brunch.
She does.
Not us.
Yeah.
And during that playoffs, there was Yankees, Red Sox. She was cheering along with me. And at Game 7, when everyone knew that Pedro could only go 7 innings, and they left him in, and my wife turns to me and said, "Why are they leaving him in?" Now, my wife had been following baseball for 2 weeks.
And
Wow.
She knew. And I'm like, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? And then they tied the game.
so glad I
and my
knew.
wife got up, said, "This game is stupid." And she
She
walked
was
away.
right. She was absolutely right.
And
I hope you
watched-
married her again.
He had twins the next year.
Yeah.
We
That's
did.
how committed he was.
My wife would not watch the next year. She said, "They're going to win this year." She said, "You said the same thing last year." But there you go.
And that's
But
why.
yeah, the Aaron Boone home run, watching it and realizing the Red Sox lost, and my wife will never follow baseball.
That is hard. That is really hard. So on that note, that is all the time we have for today. I am so glad we had you to talk baseball, to instruct her on basics of,
Evolution.
keep waving. Yeah. Evolution, baseball, who the commissioner is. I'm so glad we had you. Where can we listen to you? Where can we find you?
Just go to Sully Baseball Daily on iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud, or follow me on Twitter at Sully Baseball.
It's very funny, very great podcast. You will make time for it.
And check out my wife's podcast, which is Real Crime Profile.
That's
which is,
true.
Which is on iTunes.
Also
It's a
true.
Wow.
really great podcast that she and Jim Clemente and Laura Richards do, and it's about crime and about like the people versus O.J. Simpson making a murder, and that's also on iTunes. So check out Real Crime Profile as well.
So she's
Check out
covering
that one
the smart
first,
stuff, yeah.
Then his, then ours. Lexi, it's gonna be Mars is in retrograde, but we're still here. We did it.
We're surviving it. I'm a
Like the
survivor.
League in retrograde.
Yes.
All right, so we are so glad you guys were here for us. What you know the spiel. What do you say?
Yeah, if you guys like this video, please be sure to hit that like button. Also, let us know in the comments below. I don't know. What has happened to you during this retrograde of Mars?
Yeah. What's your worst moment in baseball?
Or your worst moment? That's probably a
And what would you do as commissioner?
Yeah. What would
Even
you do as
better.
baseball commissioner? Rob
Thanks,
Manfred?
guys. You have me answering that one, and you guys are like, oh, here are the better ones.
Sorry.
Well, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.